Hello and welcome to the Critically Curious. Today we're going to be reviewing a game called Builder Simulator. Now this is a game that released earlier in the year on Steam and is now being added to consoles as well. Now as the name suggests, this is a building simulator game in which you take on a role of building the house of your dreams from the ground up. Now this is an incredibly in-depth game with many different mechanics and building mechanics for you to learn. As I kept playing this game, I kept finding more and more that this game actually offered. Now, in its simplest form, you are able to complete jobs and basically do up different houses. But there is also a mode in the game where you can make your dream house. And it's actually something very satisfying about spending some time building your dream blueprints and then being able to see this house in all of its glory right there in front of you, for you then to be able to do the interior design of that property as well. Now, unfortunately, this is very clearly a PC port, and it can be very clunky on a controller trying to get up the basic things that you need in order to complete the first few contracts of the game. I would also say that there is an in-game tutorial, but it does have a lot to live up to. The in-game tutorial really isn't very good. There is a bit of voice acting there, but it really does need a bit of help in hand because it can be really easy to get lost in what it is you're doing, having no idea what to do next. And it can be quite frustrating trying to figure out the correct button, the correct material, the correct configuration of a certain build. Because of course everything has to be built in a particular way, in a particular order, and I absolutely do get this. This is a simulator game after all, and they want to make sure that you do things in a particular way. But as a first time player, it can be quite frustrating, so I do feel like something needs to be done there. Now at launch, the contracts, which I guess is the career mode, does launch with 16 missions for you to unlock. You have to of course complete the last one before the next one. It does say that there are more coming out, so stay tuned. There is as well a sandbox mode where you can literally build from the ground up, foundation to brickwork, every single brick being placed by your very own hands for no money whatsoever. You have unlimited control over everything the game has to offer in the sandbox mode. And then you have the interior designer, which personally is my favorite mode because, like I said, you get to build your own blueprints for your dream home. I love this, swimming pool included. And I also think it's quite cool that if you don't have an idea of what you want to do when it comes to blueprints, there is actually a random option. So that way, if you want to just pop in and do your interior design, you can literally just hit randomize. It will randomly create a house for you in which you then can jump in and interior design and make it look as glitzy and glam as your heart content. Now, the first few contract missions are really to help you understand the game, understand the mechanics. Some of them are very samey, but as you go through them, they do get harder and harder and more complex, introducing all of the different aspects of this game one step at a time. I would absolutely recommend you take up this role and actually complete the different contracts before you step into the blueprint manager, because this way you actually have an idea of what it is you're able to do. But as I said, fair warning, it can be a little bit clunky. It can be a little bit frustrating trying to figure out in which order you're supposed to do it. There is actually a store. So for instance, if you load up in sandbox mode, you're able to purchase everything from the store, have that stored down below in your hotbar. Now, there's not a huge amount there that you can buy from, but there is definitely everything that you need. And sometimes when it comes to these missions, it's not very obvious exactly which piece of material you need to be purchasing in order to complete the job. But I did find it quite satisfying mixing my own cement and then pouring that in the foundations. These simplest tasks are kind of cool. I think this is probably one of the better builder simulator games that I've seen, because you're literally taking on the role of a builder. You're having to do everything yourself bit by bit. And this game definitely offers enough different variety in content to give you a lot to do. Yes, there's only 16 missions and you should be able to complete them pretty much within a single day. But really where this game has its own is that sandbox mode, or of course that interior decorator mode, where you can design your blueprints and then go about decorating the inside of the house. All in all, this really isn't a bad game. I actually quite enjoyed my experience despite a few frustrations. I'm going to give this game a 7 out of 10. And if you stuck around to the very end of the review, a big thank you to you. Don't forget to comment red banana down below. Just confuse all those people new to the channel or that didn't watch to the very end. But until next time, I've been a Mark, been Clueless, and I'll see you in the next video real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.
Finish the construction by installing all the doors and windows. Of course, I said yes! Quickly! There's no time to waste, buddy! To the Build-Mobile!